hour number 2 of the Jeff Blake birthday edition of Laying Down the Law. I am your host, Steve Foster, and of course, alongside with the former All-Pro NFL birthday man of Thursday, coming, Jeff Blake and Rod Chico Tanner. This just in, man, I tell you what, you get a win and you get fired. Nebraska has announced that it's fired head football coach Bo Pelini.
And their record of 9 wins?
9 wins, 3 losses.
So,
we should be 10-2.
Yeah,
should have been
that one game you should.
Against Minnesota.
But 9-3 is a decent year.
Yeah,
I mean, I bet you Texas would love that. They're in a bowl game.
I'm torn.
And it's because of the lack of conference championships?
Yeah, we got to have conference championships, man. You know, I had 3 rings.
See, but this is what's going to happen. Next year, they're going to go to the conference championship, and it's going to be all with his kids. Right. That's how it usually happens.
I know.
You know, that's how it usually happens.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, listen, we'll get into that maybe a little. That may be just for me in the Husker Nation. I just wanted to get that announced to some people because it was news to me. Nonetheless, also making news is the ruling in regards to Ray Rice immediately instated, and we wanted to bring on former first-round draft pick of the Los Angeles Rams and also attorney now, does a lot of work with professional athletes of all types, our man, linebacker Mel Owens. Mel, good morning and welcome back to Laying Down the Law.
Hey, good morning, guys. Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Good morning.
Oh, man, no doubt. You got to wish Jeff Blake happy birthday. His birthday's coming up on Thursday.
Hey, Mel.
Hey, Jeff, happy 50th.
Wow. No, he's not there. But he can see it now. He can see it.
I can't see nothing. I'm blind. I walk in the doors and into windows.
Oh, man. Mel, Ray Rice, listen, I like this. I like what has gone on here. I think there needs to be a difference of judge, jury, and executioner to some certain extent. You and Jeff were employees of the National Football League, did extremely well. Your thoughts on the ruling and just how this thing came about?
We left the question off. The union gave Roger Goodell all the power. They acquiesced all this power to him during the last collective bargaining agreement, where they could have had a different result. But they chose to give it to him, obviously, and got certain things in return. But, in the NFL, you have these situational instances where things happen, and someone's got to make a decision on the punishment. So you can't give it to one person, because he's always going to act in the best interest of who employs him, which are the 32 clubs. So you got to blame the union for giving him all the power. Right.
Well, I mean, and why would somebody do that? I mean, dismiss. I mean, you got these lawyers. You're a lawyer. They're a lawyer. Dang it, I'm a lawyer. I mean, I wouldn't give up a position. I mean, is it just so much money that they said, look, we'll cut you guys by 5% total, and you just basically have to do what the league says?
It may be that, Steve, but also maybe you might get something else in return, like maybe insurance or some practice time reduction. I mean, we don't know what it was that that trade-off, but nonetheless, you got to rank your priorities. And that would be high on my priority list, that when these players get in trouble, whatever they do, I can't have the commissioner meting out all the punishment, because these guys get suspended without pay. And they also affect their families and their kids. And you see with the other domestic violence cases, they put these guys on the exempt list, because you can't cut all the guys.
Right.
If you imagine cutting all these players, and now they're free agents, and they get exonerated by the law, let's say, and now they're free agents. So all the fake outrage is obviously fake, because they put them on the commissioner's exemption list, where they retain them with the club, right? So we got problems up and down the chain.
Well, that was my thing. We're talking with Mel Owens, former first-round draft pick of the Los Angeles Rams out of Michigan, and now attorney in the sports world, helping a whole bunch of athletes.
He helped me.
Oh, that's right, Mel. You did help me.
Yes, indeed.
Right.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I'm on his roster.
That's right. That's not draft pick.
Yes, that's right. Jeff did mention how you assisted him, and so publicly we say thank you for helping Jeff out.
That's my pleasure.
Absolutely. Well, Mel, come on. I mean, so has the folks, the not knowing media, and this is why I wanted to bring you on so that the listeners would know, from a person who is an attorney, very smart individual, someone who has played this game at the highest level in this league. So some of the information just doesn't see, because I have a very good friend on Twitter who comes on the show, and she's just like, this is just whoever picks up Ray Rice, their fan base, especially from the female perspective, is just going to fall out. They say, hold on. How come nobody gives the guy in Arizona, running back who headbutts his significant who's pregnant, and it admits to this? We don't hear a peep out of that. You want Ray Rice? Ray said, look, I'm sorry. The woman marries him, and leave it alone. That's not your relationship. And the law hasn't even gone off on Ray, you know?
Well, the American justice system gave him a diversion program.
Right.
The NFL gave him two-game suspension, and that was all good until the other video came out, and they had all this outrage. And quite frankly, the arbitrator, the former federal judge, she said she didn't find Roger Goodell credible. She goes, he just wasn't credible. You can't say you didn't see it, and all of a sudden you have this outrage, and you suspend the guy indefinitely, and you cut him. They cut him. So he lose all this income that he can never get back. Hopefully he can get the income back. Him and his wife, this is a personal matter. What he did was abhorrent, obviously, but people forgive, right? And they move on. They serve their sentences, and they get a second chance. And why not? Right? You just can't be so arbitrary and capricious like Goodell was. And the arbitrator even found him to be that way. So what I think is going to happen is that someone's going to pick him up. And give him another chance. And there's going to be some outrage, obviously, but this society in which we live in the United States, we're drunk on the NFL. So the NFL gets a lot of passes. So in this instance, they may get a pass as well as time goes by. But we will tell in the future.
Well, Mel,
I'm telling you, fans are finicky. All right, he goes out and he rushes 25 touchdowns for somebody's team and rush for 1,800, 2,000 yards. They'll be like, you know what? He shouldn't have hit his wife, but he just scored me 2 touchdowns on my fantasy football league today, so I'm happy. So,
well, Mel, there are hundreds.
People are finicky, man.
There are hundreds of lawyers that make 6 figures. You want to tell me there's not one domestic violence case for a lawyer or a doctor just because they don't have a jersey? I mean, God.
If you about a month ago, there was a federal judge in I think from California who hit his wife in Las Vegas, and he was arrested. It happens all the time. We know it's a societal problem, but the NFL will always say, "Well, this is a bigger problem in general." I get it, but it's happening, on your watch in your league, and they're dealing with it. But what the arbitrator found, it was arbitrary. The punishment, it was capricious. So what happens is you're giving the guy a two-game suspension on one hand. The American justice system takes care of it on the other, and all of a sudden the fake outrage comes and goes, "Oh my God, this is how bad it was." Now you're cut, and now you have no pay. That's the problem the arbitrator had, and she found Roger Goodell not credible.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, Mel, if I went to everybody's office who unfortunately was on a court docket, a criminal court docket, and said, "Well, I don't think that's good enough. San Antonio says you got to do this, but nah. You're off your job for a year." Or hey, we're going to go out to California. What'd you do? Oh, felony trespassing and you wreck some damage and blah blah. Nah, that's not good enough. You don't get paid for the rest of the four months. Really? I mean, really?
Yeah. I have a problem with that as well.
Oh, my gosh.
All the domestic violence instances where they gave out punishment, none of them were over 2 years.
Right.
2 games.
Right.
None over 2 games.
Right.
and then all of a sudden, the second video came out. But it's inconsistent, and to a point it's unfair. The guy served the suspension for 2 games. Then they took away, another, 14 games of pay. And his wife even acknowledges it's a private issue. And, they have a little baby girl, I think. So it's just not, unfair. It also could be wrecking their lives.
Right. Absolutely. Just tell him, man, he can't play anymore. And I think you serve your punishment. I got punished. I got switched. Y'all, I got the Avon brush, the yardstick, the belt. I mean, plenty of things. But listen, if my parents would have told me I never could play football again, I wouldn't have an education, Mel. I wouldn't be an attorney. You're just going to take it away after I serve my punishment? And I got torn up.
Not only did he serve his punishment, he got all the public embarrassment.
Yes.
And you got the legal justice system behind your back. You got the intervention program. You lost 2 games to the NFL. You put a big burden on this guy already. There's shame involved. And what Roger Goodell did come back and say, by the way, we're gonna release you and we're gonna take your pay and your livelihood from you. That's unfair. In my opinion.
Yeah, because and this is Chico. You've got to still provide for your family, and you cannot take that away from any individual in society. And here's the thing: the act is not condoned. Everybody understands that, but it's no different than any other act that is a criminal act or an unjust act or whatever it may be. You have to take the action. But to take somebody's livelihood away, and I hear what you're saying, Steve, it's like in my profession, I'm an IT professional, and I do something, you tell me I can't sell technology anymore?
Right.
It's just not.
After you served your punishment, was punished by multiple sources.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
and what I think, guys, is that when it came out, obviously they're pleased with the outcome, but you can see the underlying tone was, I told you so. I told you. You didn't listen to me. So finally, the NFL has met its match with the arbitrator, and she just said, I didn't find him credible. So in other words, he misrepresented. So, and that's the big issue here is what's the punishment now for Roger Goodell? What's going to happen to him? It's incredible.
He got 40 million reasons why he needed to do what he did.
Nothing's going to happen to him.
And you know what? That I understand. If I made 40 million a year, I would probably be protective of my job as well.
Let's just go back to the one thing that y'all probably all learned, and your attorney, those who have the goal.
Make the rules.
Thank you.
All right.
I dropped the mic.
Right. Mel, and
extra chocolate.
Mel, we just hope that that people realize that it is an issue, societal issue, not just fast people that play sports, not just people in the NFL. You must punish to discipline. And then again, like I said, hey, if you do it again, you're gone. I get that. But you can't first time summarily do what you did to a guy who is, he's getting it in stereo and spades about this wrongdoing. Now get his butt back to work and straighten up, fly right.
Well, the problem was, Steve, throughout this whole ordeal, those laws or codes or conducts were not in place. And so he was shooting from the hip, and just coming off the cuff with the things that he was, administering to Ray Rice. So now that this has happened and certain other things that happened, they are putting all these things in place now. So the next time this happened, there would be some protocol that's set aside.
But yeah, I absolutely agree. Mel, we're lawyers. We should know that we don't shoot from the hip. We are the ones that you sat in the same daggum classes that I did. 1,600-page books to tell us there is an order and a process in law. I took a legal process.
Well, here's what happened. When they were questioning Roger Goodell's truthfulness, he strangely abdicated and said, okay, we'll let the arbitrator figure this out. But he's under tremendous pressure. So he got the pressure away from him by saying, we'll let the arbitrator figure it out. And she did. You weren't telling the truth. I didn't find you credible. How you came to your decision wasn't correct. So he sort of dodged the bullet there, and nobody is raising that issue. They say, we got the Ray Rice issue, but we also got the Roger Goodell issue.
Right.
And what happened there? And the guy from ESPN, I think one of the reporters, got suspended just telling him how he felt. So people are drunk on the NFL, like I told you before. So they're going to get a lot of passes. And Roger Goodell right now is getting a pass, even though the arbitrator, who was a federal district judge, said he's not credible. How's that for the commissioner? He's not credible.
Yeah,
he's misrepresented.
That's a hard pill to swallow. Recognizing that one has 100% been administered punishment and so-called fake justice, as you termed it, and then one is just walking, overseeing this deal. And, you know, there's some in the minority populations that don't like that word overseer because it means that you don't have to adhere to the rules for yourself. However, you are giving them out to the people that you are charged to manage.
Well, hopefully, you know, this situation will show that Roger Goodell shouldn't have all that power. But again, the NFLPA gave him the power, and now they're going back and saying, well, he shouldn't have this power. Well, it's a little too late in the game to say that he shouldn't have all the power when you gave it to him. But here's the problem. So he now can choose which ones he wants to administer and which ones he wants to punt on. That's going to be a problem.
Yeah, but as a lawyer, that's my whole point. He should know you can't. We didn't learn that. No one taught you that. The only thing now, what is guiding you is not the premises of law or legal process or reasonableness, as you know, Mel, that lawyers throw around all the time. Reasonable man standard. We're, as you said, arbitrary, capricious, and maintaining $40 million that came to me last year, and that. You can't be run by that money. If you do, you get these funky outcomes every time you look at a situation. And then you got people outraged by stuff that really, you know, they should pump their brakes and say, hold on. You've missed
well, what happens also, there's nobody overseeing Roger Goodell. He misrepresented. It was arbitrary, right? The punishment, you know, was excessive after the fact. So who's checking him? It looks like nobody's checking him. Now he has a free pass. Oh, you know, well, we won the arbitration. What happened? How did you win it? Why did you win it? Why did you even go there? Oh, it was because of Roger Goodell's decision. So nobody's going to come back and check him.
Right.
There's nothing in the report. By the way, now you're suspended now for 6 games or 6 months because of what you did to Ray Rice. Ray Rice doesn't appeal to get his money back.
Right.
What if he doesn't get picked up and he's done? I think he might be like close to 30 or something. So he's on the back end of his career where they go, you know what? We ain't going to pick him up. His production's down. He has his baggage. We're not going to pick him up. He loses millions of dollars because of Roger Goodell's decision. Who's going to check Roger Goodell?
Right.
So far, nobody.
Right. It's interesting. We will stay tuned to how things unfold. I just thought it'd be good to have the listeners get it from somebody who was a former first-round draft pick, understands and has his finger on the pulse of what's going on, especially in this league that you gave service to, just like Jeff did, and also helped and assisted our birthday boy, Jeff Blake, as well in matters concerning the NFL. So with that, we say thank you. We appreciate your time. And
can you text your boy Pelini and tell him we need him at Michigan?
Oh, no, you going to take my guy after we fired him? Oh, no.
Well, he turned Nebraska. He helped turn Nebraska around. So
would you have not fired Pelini?
No.
I wouldn't have either. I would
not.
No,
of course not.
I would not.
But, things happen. People move around. He's a free agent. And, I like his feistiness.
I love it, too. I love it, too. Well, hey, Mel, we agree on a lot of things. Always a pleasure. Hopefully, maybe I'll see you out at the Super Bowl in Arizona.
Maybe. Hopefully.
Okay, sounds great. We'll stay in touch. Appreciate your insight today on the show.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, we're going to take a short break, come back, and then we're going to talk college football in the 10:30 segment. But we have an open segment, and we're going to hear from Chico and
high school football.
Yeah, and continue along with this birthday celebration for our man Jeff Blake right here on Laying Down the Law.